Hello and welcome to Knights of the Hobby Table. I'm your host Blake, here with good old octopus hair Obi.
It's a spider, thank you very much.
No, it's an octopus, okay. And Bodacious Bowen. What up, dude?
That's me.
Always bodacious, not always bald. How are we, guys? Are you well?
Doing great, my man. What about you, Bowen?
Living the corporate chill life. It's awesome.
I can hear the life draining from you with each passing week.
I don't have a life energy anymore.
Did the water cooler steal it? Is that what happened? You went there, you
Yeah.
got a cup of water, it just filled with black.
Yeah, that's right.
God damn it, the bastards got him. They killed my boy. Anyway, so, welcome to the show, guys. We're doing another bonus episode today. Obi, would you like to tell everyone what the fuck we're talking about today?
I would actually like to start off with a really awesome quote I found for this to kick us off.
Oh,
Ready? We are vigilance unending. We are duty unstinting. We are punishment inescapable. We are the Adeptus Custodes, and all must fear our wrath. By Shield Captain Rothrorian Ganeth.
How many times did you have to rehearse that to do that?
Actually, my reading skills are kind of okay, so I guess.
he's been on this lore a bunch of times. He's been practicing.
Exactly. I've been practicing.
He's been getting better. You're the big boy now.
I can
So,
read
yeah.
the letters.
Talking about the big bananas of the Imperium today, hey? The Custodes, or Custodes.
Alright.
The who?
Boys.
The Custodes. The bananas. The yellow bens, as the Norwegians would call them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, sick. Alright, so, before we get into that, though, what have you boys been up to, hobby-wise? What's been going on? Obi?
Ooh.
What you doing?
In line with this episode, I finished up a Custodes Vexilla and a Blade Champion. And I did something really cool for the Blade Champion. I painted up his face to look like, The Witcher when he's going into his overdrive mode with the black eyes and like the purple around the eyes and little streaks and everything.
Sick!
Yeah, I'm really,
I like that.
really enjoyed doing that. And I started with my knights again now, so.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's awesome. What about you, Bo? What's been going on?
I have not hobbied in over 2 months.
Oh, no. Are you okay?
No.
Would you say you're in a hobby rut?
Hobby rut? No. Just haven't had the time for it, to be completely honest.
See, this is what you gotta do. You gotta take your girlfriend and get her into Warhammer, so then part of the time you spend together can be used doing Warhammer.
Yeah,
Elise, I know you're probably gonna listen to this. Paint some Warhammer.
Also, thank you for the advice on the Game Boy Color stuff.
Oh, yeah. I said to her, I'm like, Elise, you've wounded Obi. You didn't reply to it. But she's like, well, I didn't see that. And she went back.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, that's right, woman. You just got called out.
Oh, shit. You're gonna pay for that one, bro.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. It's funny, actually, man. Like, we did one episode of Retro Gaming, and Obi had to go and buy it. It just got him.
I was literally browsing while we were recording. Ended up buying it 20 minutes after we stopped recording.
Yeah, the moment we're off air, he's like, "Oi, so is this real?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro." He's like, "That's it."
Oh,
good times, good times. And me, man. Quick update on the Game Boy collection. I now have 7 Game Boys. 7. I only need 1 more to finish my base set, which is the Kiwi Green.
You know, some would say that's 6 too many, but good
And
on
they
you,
would
buddy.
be wrong. They would be wrong, and they would be fools.
Hold on. Does that mean that you could technically put a Pokemon game in each and every one of them to match the colors of...
Oh, yeah. Easy.
So you have a yellow one, you can put Pokemon Yellow in it. Do you have a red one?
Yeah, got a red one.
Alright, so Pokemon Red. Do you have a blue one? Pokemon Blue?
Yeah, I have the teal one. Yeah.
You need the Kiwi Green for Leaf Green? Or the Japanese
for the
green
Japanese
version?
one. Yeah, facts. But yeah, so that's the thing. I also just bought a Knight. Which is on its way. Yeah, I bought an Imperial Knight. I had to. So I'm on the fence about whether I want to do it with my Jurassic Park colours and fill it with my Marines, or do like a Galaxy paint job and start my own Knight house. So guys, let me know what you think I should do. Yeah, other than that, I've been cycling a shrimp tank. Like, it's filled up, it's ready to go. I just got to get the plants and put them in, and then, off to the races. So, yeah.
Do you have the shrimp?
No. Shrimp are still needed.
Then you need the shrimps too, you idiot.
Yeah. Look, mate. No, the thing is, you got to cycle a tank first, otherwise, the bacteria and everything just dies, so...
Yeah, but you said you just needed plants and then you're off to the races.
No,
but how can you race if you don't have shrimps?
Look.
My money's on shrimp number 3.
Shrimp 3, okay. Formally noted.
Good.
Well, in fact, when I go get my shrimp, you can pick shrimp number 3, okay?
Can I pay by PayPal?
Yes.
Are we gonna put up, votes for names for them?
We can do that, actually, yes. When I eventually get them, we can do that.
Alright. Love it.
If people would like to do that, I'm down.
So,
alrighty.
Segue to the next topic.
Enter segue here.
Is that like Enter Sandman? On to the next topic now.
What are you saying, that we're selling out our segways? Is that what you're saying?
Why not? Sell out everything. Give us the money. Fuck it.
Doesn't it fuck you up that the dude who invented segways, in a demonstration to show how good the brakes on his Segway are, fell off a cliff and died on a Segway?
What? Did that actually happen?
Yeah.
No.
Oh no.
Yeah, he wanted to show the braking power of his Segway, so he went to go do it on a cliff, and he obviously fucked up and died.
You know what's super dumb? I knew what a Segway, like the vehicle, was before I knew what a Segway was in terms of changing subjects. So I was like, why did they name it that way? And I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot, that's why.
Yeah, I'm seeing it's funny because this entire thing right now could be misconstrued as a Segway.
It could be.
Custodes, what are they about? I have no idea. Why don't you boys tell me?
Alright, so the Custodes are the loyal bodyguards of the Emperor, basically, and realistically the most elite troops within the Imperium. These guys, they're not men, and you would quickly regret confusing them for it. They're more like an elite version of a space marine. In a way that a guardsman is very elite for a human, but they still don't compare to a marine. A marine does not compare to a custodes, in the law. They're just beyond reproach. So yeah. What style of army are the custodes on the tabletop, Obi? Do they attack in numbers or from afar? How do they play?
They're quite an elite army, like you mentioned before, and that kind of represents in the tabletop as well, which means that there are very few models, and each individual model is basically an army in its own, I would say. But they are also costed that way, so you will be playing with... I think my collection is so far about 27 models. So, and that's 2,000 points.
27 models at 2,000 points. That's insane.
Yeah, man. And for example, the Captain General Trajan Valorous, he is probably the best commander which is in the whole game at the moment.
Right.
Sadly, though, he does have the most boring pose ever. So you gotta have to paint them up to look real good. In times of the way they play is they like to get up close and personal, so you're gonna have to foot slog them across the board, and they will chop up everything in melee. Their shooting is not as good, but it works out. They can do some hurt.
So against somebody like, say, the Tau, they may struggle if they can't break through the fire, is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
They may, yeah.
You'll have to rely on cover, going through the buildings, closing in. Yeah, because if you're out in the open, the Tau will blow you off the table, basically.
Yeah, okay. Bo, do you want to get the next one?
How many dudes do you start with?
The cool thing is, if you're gonna start with Kill Team, for example, you just need one box, and you'll have a spare model to start with already. So you can make, because the Kill Team is made of 2 fire teams, and there's 2 Custodes in every fire team. So you need 4 models to make a Kill Team. That's a real cost
sick
effective.
ass, dude.
Yeah.
No, I want Custodes.
They're beefy as fuck, brother.
They're so chunk.
They're the big chunguses of Warhammer.
They're the drunken of Warhammer, the biggest boys.
They are actually like the same size as the Terminator, like a little bit taller as well. So there's a lot of detail on them, so it's real cool.
Wait, which Terminator are we talking about here? Are we talking like Warhammer Terminator? Or are we talking like LOL Terminator?
Obviously, the Warhammer Terminators.
Yeah, because no one's bigger than the Austrian Death Machine. Don't you forget.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. So now, however, if you want to get a 500 point army together, I think you can get around with 2 boxes of the same models, basically, because you can make a shield captain of it, and you can make a Vexilla, and then just fill up with some troops. They're actually, on date of recording, they are releasing the new combat patrol box for Custodes, and that one will push you to 1,000 points.
On its own?
On its own. It's close to 1,000 points, at least.
Yankees.
As a popular Nintendo mascot would say, let's go!
Right. So, like I mentioned before, for a full army, you could probably get around with just 20 to 30 models. They are very, very small amount of models you need to get this army going, which is why I picked them up as well.
So they're the polar opposite of something like, say, Tyranids or Orcs, right?
Correct.
So, they're very expensive in points, which means you have less painting to do. So it's kind of good.
Yeah, less models to buy.
Yeah. Awesome.
But besides that, why should people pick up Custodes, though? Besides less painting.
Yeah, less painting. That's like one of the biggest things about them, at least, is you don't need as much models, less painting, less time spending painting, more time being able to play. So
yeah, I mean, that and the fact they have all the best parts of being a Space Marine, but more badass and less cliche. You know, like, I know I like the concept of a Space Marine being like a super soldier and that sort of stuff, but like, you do get a bit over it. Even as, like, I have a Space Marine army, but you're like, okay, come on, everything's Space Marines. These are like the Space Marines, dude, and I think that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, but you're talking about Primaris right now. These guys are a step above.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though. Like, they're just badass, man. They're just badass.
Right.
That being said, we fully embrace Primaris here.
That's true. I solely have Primaris models for my Space Marine army.
Imagine having Space Marines.
Oh my god, this came up with a great idea. What if someone kit bashes a Space Marine to look like the Loma meme? Where he's like really small with the microphone in his hand, like the old school squat Marines?
Hello.
Oh, I'm dying. Yeah, I mean, I think another funny thing is they have these totally badass, like, nonsensical gun spears. And, like, yeah, they explain it in the lore, but, like, it's a spear, but it's also a gun. And I think that's both cool and fucking lame at the same time, so... It's very 40k, though.
Yeah.
Is it like the fucking revolver sword thing from Final Fantasy, but a spear? Is that what you kind of
Essentially, yes.
So think of that, except the blade runs, like, the barrel of the gun runs parallel to the back of the blade,
Yeah.
and it's on a long stick. Like, I'm not joking, dude. It's a real thing.
That seems like it would have a very long, tedious trigger mechanism, but fair enough.
I mean...
The trigger is like here on the hand here, and then you have the shooting head like on the top. It's really silly.
It's ridiculous, but it's like 40k ridiculous, so it's fun, if that makes sense. Like, it's just the sort of shit you'd expect in 40k, to be honest.
Oh, hold on. Quickly talking about Final Fantasy, did you know that if you press the right trigger, you actually shot with the gun while you were, like, doing an attack? I didn't know that while playing the game.
I've never played Final Fantasy.
Oh, you heretic! Do it.
It's
such a good game.
I'm not a JRPG guy, to be honest. Like...
Look, let's also just, address the elephant in the room, right? If I'm already a heretic because I haven't hobbied in like 2 months, right? And you're calling me a heretic now because I haven't played Final Fantasy, doesn't 2 negatives make a positive? So doesn't that mean I'm now like neutral?
That's true.
So if anything, thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Let's find another heresy about Bowen later.
Bowen's just turned that bullshit sandwich into an advantage.
Aha.
He's got the high ground. You can't win.
Joke's on you, Obi. Final Fantasy's kind of mid. Boom. There's the heresy.
You know what? I can't say Bowen might not have played Final Fantasy, but he has put hundreds of hours into Persona.
Shut up.
So,
shut up.
Hundreds.
I don't even know what that game is. So I don't.
Persona's pretty sick.
Persona is kind of like Pokemon, in a way. So it's like it's a JRPG.
Like a Persona.
I mean, if you want.
Oh no! Don't say that.
No.
Here's where Cat is as we record, guys. Just let that be known.
Alright, honestly, best way I can describe Persona... Have you seen any of the stands from JoJo's? Or, like, what JoJo's is, maybe? Oh, okay. Well, that's probably the easiest way to explain it, but... They're just, like, these projection things that you use to fight shit. And it's got, like, the Pokemon thing where it's, like, different types of them, and they have, like, weaknesses and resistances and sort of thing. It's fun.
Alright.
Anyway, what other cool things are there about the Custode?
Honestly, when I'm painting these, the coolest thing about them is how detailed their armor is and how many ornate little things they have. Like, they have a lot of gems on them, which kind of lends them to being very easy to paint as well. Like we said, I'm pretty sure that if you could push yourself to do a painting weekend, you could probably push out a Custodes army in a weekend using an airbrush and dry brushing. So, and then just paint into little gems here and there and paint up the blades some fancy color. So
yeah, like if you were to batch paint them, like especially if say you were doing gold, like if you just went through that and you got your technique nailed, and then you just dry brush all your highlights and then went through and did the details on each one after another, I think you could easily knock out that in a weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Sick.
Yeah, Obi, you better get the last one too, brother, because this is your thing.
Yeah, okay. So there are different kind of shield hosts spread across the differentiated under the Custodes, basically. So, for example, you have the Shadow Keepers, which are basically guardians of the Sacred Vault.
Shadow Realm.
Yeah, something like that. Only they have like I don't know. There's quite a lot of rumors about what they got stored up in there. So maybe even Google that and find some really cool tidbits.
So just for reference, are they almost like different chapters of the Space Marines, sort of like that?
Sorta, yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, I've seen your Custodes, they have black armor with silver highlights, right?
Gold highlights, yeah.
Oh, gold highlights, there you go. But, like, that's different to the box art where it's normally gold armor.
Exactly.
So it's like, yeah. So are they just a different shield host?
Yeah, different shield hosts do different things.
Okay.
So, yeah. The Solar Watch, for example, are very into getting quick movement. That's their big shtick. So, and their color scheme is like with whites, white armor, and I don't remember the silver details or something. Yeah.
Sick. Imagine if you did gold, then end up looking like the White Ranger from Power Rangers.
Something like that.
Yeah. Alright. Is there any cons to doing the Custodes? Guys?
No, that is not.
No. No! The answer is no.
The Emperor says no.
Only positives here. No, but if you're not gonna be dry brushing, and you're hand painting the details in, like, my armor is basically black, but I'm doing all the details in gold, you're gonna have a little bit of a tough time painting in all the details. But if you're dry brushing it all the way, it's fast as fuck.
Yeah, so if you really want that colour separation, you're going to be doing a lot of 45-degree edge highlights with the edge of your brush and all that sort of stuff, right, Obi?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The other one is, too, is that there's a limited model range. Like, other armies, they've been out for 20, 30, and the Custodes have been in lore for a very long time, but their model range is sort of like, they are a newer fashion to the tabletop. And because they are so elite, they don't need more and more and more guys, so they don't really get touched too much in terms of new model releases and things like that. So yeah, just something to keep in mind that, you're not going to have, like, a bajillion different types of combinations to use, but that doesn't mean you can't be creative.
Yeah, I think they have, like, 5 different boxes from GW, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, and some are from Forge World too, right? Like, they have an extra 2 models or something.
Yeah, you have quite a lot of Forge World models, but the new codex is written that you don't really need Forge World models anymore. So,
woo, no more shitty resin, very nice.
But they're cool models, though. I picked up a Telemon, and I'm so eager to paint it.
I just fucking have an undying hate for resin. Yeah,
it's terrible to work with, but like I said, you don't really need to work with the resin. You can just as well do a full army in a plastic kit. So that's a good part.
Yeah. And I think the last one, this one will particularly ruin your day, Bowen.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, there's no chaos equivalent.
What?
Because they are the Emperor's bodyguards. There's no chaos equivalent. It's just not a thing. So, like, a lot of people go, I don't mind Space Marines, but I want something a bit more edgy. They go to Chaos. Not an option with these guys. I mean, I guess you could do, like, a homebrew thing, but it just wouldn't sit well with the lore. I know.
Okay. My reaction is Tim Allen noise.
You did that so well. That just killed me.
I mean, no, it makes sense, though. Like, if they're the closest thing to the Emperor, they're gonna be not corruptible. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like the Sisters of Battle. There's, like, one sister that's ever fallen or whatever.
Theoretically, let's not get into that.
Theoretically.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Jeez.
But okay, I could understand the Sister of Battle falling, but a Custode is much less likely, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Due to their role,
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, the Emperor has a Custodes name on his, like, names on his fucking armor.
Yeah.
Even the Primarchs didn't get that,
Fuck you, my sons. These guys are cooler.
These guys are my favorites.
The Emperor's a bad dad. Can we just say that?
Don't talk about that, like that. Not nice.
Well, hang on, I mean, I'm a loyalist. We'll just say he's a great dad. Maybe that's why I resonate with him.
There's one more con about them, though, and that's the Sisters of Silence. If you
What
want
are
the
they?
different
Sorry.
models... they're basically like an auxiliary detachment sort of thing, but now they're baked in the Custodes codex, so you can run them alongside them. But
Okay.
they have one box set, and with that box set, you make all the models. You can technically make a Sisters of Silence army, but you'll be using the same models for all of them, and it's just bland as fuck. Yeah, so I would really like them to expand a little bit more on it, but you can go to Forge World.
Even if they just did like an upgrade sprue box, right? With like some extra shit.
Yeah,
like
just
keep the base of the model and
poses
have like different heads and poses and like
Yeah.
they could do that quite easily. We have the technology, James Workshop, sorted out.
Exactly.
Dude, I completely forgot about James Workshop.
I did not. I never forget the James Workshop. Bowen.
Oh,
Alright. Well, what I mean, I'm gonna go first, but what hobbying advice, modelling tips would you guys give for getting into the Custodes? And for me,
wow.
I would advise, if you're doing the gold armor, I have a super sick little recipe that I use with my Stormcast Eternals. And you know, gold is gold, man. If you're looking for that really nice blingy thing, what I do, I rattle can with Retributor Gold, and then to bring it up to a bit more luster, I do actually do a hand coat of Retributor Gold. I then wash it with Rycon Flesh Shade, and on sort of like the flatter but more raised to the top bits where your light source are, I'll then do a coat of Auric Gold, like Auric Armor Gold for sort of like the top 75% away from the recess. And then from there, all the edges that are pointing up towards where the light source is, I will use Rune Frame Steel. And like do edge highlights. Not heaps, but like just enough that it looks like that gold is in that pinnacle of like reflectiveness and where it looks silver, not gold.
Mm.
And yeah, it turns out pretty well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I haven't also painted any Custodes, but I mean, I assume I could just treat it like any other model with, like, you know, making sure, you know, using dry brushing. Stuff like that, just because especially considering I'm very new to the whole dry brushing thing, it really makes a difference.
Mm.
Like,
yes.
It
so
doesn't...
like, if you're not super tight at edge highlights, like Bowen, like Bo's still learning edge highlights sort of thing, getting clean.
Yeah.
So, is that how you tackle those models, Bo?
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so sort of like, put your base coat colour down, maybe do a wash, and then you just dry brush on top of that, right?
I would base coat, do a wash, and then if I really wanted to make the armor pop, then yeah, do a bit of edge highlighting. And then like a dry brush as well, to really get the raised like areas.
Yeah. So the cool thing about dry brushing too is you can bring out texture. So like a flat panel, you can make it look like it has scratches and things of that nature, which is really cool, obviously. So yeah, good one.
Oh, thanks, guy.
No worries, bro.
I'm fucking carrying right now.
Oh, carrying. So much carry.
Dude, can you feel the weight on your shoulders, Bowen?
No.
Jokes on you, that's
I
not
don't-
weight, that's my balls.
I don't feel anything anymore.
Oh no. Someone get this kid a shot of Prozac.
He needs some
It's-
milk!
Stop! Stop!
He's
He's
falling to
already
pieces.
dead.
Oh, God.
He needs a Happy Meal and a hug. He's falling to pieces.
Dark Angels pops Bolter.
Oh no. Oh no. He's dead, Jim.
Alright, but for my tips, if you don't want to do gold as your color scheme and you want to paint them Shadow Keepers, for example, blacks are... I would dry brush from black to gray. The way I did it, I used 3 different grays of gray to go up, and each time just dry brush a little bit lighter and lighter and lighter. So you get like a nice gradient going on. Of course, this will make your model super light, and that's not what we want. So I use a set of washes over it. Dragonhalf Nightshade is one to bring in some blues into the armor. After that, I wash it with Null Oil. What I then do is pick out all the other details, the gold, for example, the red details, and maybe even purple, depends on how I want to paint the gems, I guess. And then wash everything again with Null Oil, even the gold. And this brings like a really old, rustic kind of gold, a little bit more dirty, worn. I kind of like that. And then after that, you do all your highlights, everything. Purple highlights, the red highlights, and the gold highlights. What I'll do to finish them all off later on when I finished all the army is going to be doing streaking grime and remove the streaking grime again after and having them even more dirty than they are already. So
yeah, sick. I can't wait to see you play around that streaky grime.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Really looking forward to it. It's just a few models left to go until I can start going into oils and everything. I could do it already just to try it out, but I'm more of a batch painter kind of guy, so I'll round them all up and do it all at the same time.
You have the work ethic with models of a factory machine. You just fucking line them up and knock them out. I'm like, look at my one commander that took me 6 months to lovingly paint. You're like, I did 58 units in 5 days.
You know, terrifying. If there ever was like a fucking James Workshop, like sweat factory, like sweatshop thing, like you'd walk in and it's literally just one desk, one lamp, and it's just Oblor, and he's like, "Hey guys."
Yeah, in his shorts with ravioli cans next to him.
There's just like a pile of them like on the floor because he's been there. Because like since he's getting paid for it and he's having a gay old time, he's been there for days.
Exactly.
Just fucking smashing kilograms of ravioli.
Don't tell anybody
there's like there's just a table to his right with like 100 of these things just fucking beautifully done.
Damn.
That's your work ethic.
Yeah, I've heard that before, to be honest, so I'm not surprised.
And then you got me, who takes 2 months to paint a single fucking model.
Yeah, well, you know.
Let's go.
We're different people. Australia's a lot more relaxed, you know?
We're a bit different, that's it.
Yeah, that's right. Me and Bowen are fucking stacked.
No, we're just fucking lazy, bro.
I mean, maybe it's that too. Yeah, and so my other piece of advice, and this goes for pretty much any model, what I try and do with your bases is try and do the opposite of what you did with the model. So, if I've done a model with really rich colours, like golds and reds and that sort of stuff, very warm and rich, I will usually offset that with a cooler, less vibrant base. So, like, if I did gold models in 40k, I'd probably have grey or white bases, just to knock that down a bit and balance it out. With my Space Marines, that are grey and red, they're very muted, so I do really bright, colourful plants on my jungle bases, like neon colours, because it makes everything look complete. So, just a tip, whatever you're doing, don't try and make the bases look samey to the guys, otherwise they sort of just blend and look amalgamated. You know, and you can tell narratives with your bases too, so keep that.
Yeah.
And that'll really put that on your models. Because do your fucking bases, alright, guys? Fuck.
I don't know if you've seen the bases I've done, but I've done marble bases for my Custodes. So
I did see that, but they're not overly extravagant, and they look good. They're simple.
Yeah,
you know, like...
It's white marble, basically, with black streaks on it. So
I mean, if it were me doing your guys, because they are quite muted with their colours, I probably would have done something a bit more bright, you know, but that's just me, you know?
Yeah.
I probably would have done like a lava base or something like that. So it was like black with like the bright orange coming out and shit like that.
Well, I'm
But,
going to paint these in a grimdark kind of style, so I kind of wanted it dark, muted, and pulled back a little.
So it's different strokes for different folks, but I'm very cartoony in my visual style with the way I paint and stuff like that. Like, you've even noticed that with my Warhammer, it always looks very cel-shaded and comic booky, and that's my style. So not everyone has to do it the way I've said, but it's just something to think about when you're doing your bases. Don't just think, oh, slap it together. Do a little bit of thought and see what you can come up with, because you will have a better product.
Exactly. We're talking about different styles here. Fun little thingy here. Hobby Happy Hour just released a video about a podcast episode about different painting styles. Do give that a listen, because that might help you define your kind of style.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Bob and John are great mates of ours, good friends of the show. And they have a killer podcast, which, is similar to ours, but very different in its own way. So go check them out, because they know their shit and they're very good painters.
Exactly.
Especially Jono. Jono fucking kills it. Bob does great conversions with green stuff, and Jono's a very good painter. Yeah. So
they know their shit. They've been in it for a while.
Yeah. But we're better.
Oh, no, we're just cooler. It's different.
No, we're better. We're straight better. We're straight up better.
You heard it. You heard it here from the board, man.
We're better. And if they got a problem, we'll have a paint off.
Oh, no.
We already did. And I got my ass whooped. Oh.
Yeah, well, we're going to have an 80s montage of all of us getting better at painting.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Eye of the Tiger playing in the background or something.
Yeah, sounds great.
And then, line up each, blam with, a paint stroke. So it's bam! Bam, bam, bam!
There will be a collaboration with those boys one day. One day.
Exactly.
One day. But yeah, anyway, now guys, it's time for a new segment called Fun Facts with Obi. What do you have for us today, you motherfucker?
Tell us.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us! The man of spider hair.
These guys, they have something really fun called the Blood Games. Have you heard of it?
What are the Blood Games, Oblerone?
Oh, the Blood Games. It's basically a military exercise where the Custodes will they'll try to infiltrate the Imperial palaces, the defense system on Terra. So they get sent out into the galaxy, no gear, no weapon, I think. And they have to make their way from whichever planet they're put on all the way back to Terra without being noticed by their other guys. And they have to get as close to the Emperor as possible. I think it's so cool.
And that's just a training exercise.
That's a training exercise, yeah. That's a fun training exercise.
That sounds harder than the actual fight itself.
Oh, yeah. Did you know that they also have really long vigils? So they'll be standing there for hundreds of years, standing guard, not moving a muscle, being ready to tackle on whatever comes by.
So their armor must be recycling their poo, their waste, their poos and peas.
Dude,
I wouldn't.
Either that, or they're standing next to a big pile of shit.
Next thing you're gonna say is the whole thing with the Master Chief suit or something. It's their suits are made to jack them off as well.
Oh no! The Emperor's flashlight.
I'm not sure if it's a Ken doll down there. Baby's move.
That makes perfect sense. Okay. Now, here's my question, though, with the Blood Games. Is the objective to actually try to kill the Emperor, or is it just to get as close to him as possible?
It's trying to kill, you have to get the knife to his throat or something, but...
Oh, okay. Because I was just picturing, one Custodes being the biggest badass. He gets in there with his sharpened stick, and sticks it straight through the Emperor's eye. It's oh, well, there goes the Imperium. Sorry, I was too good at the game, guys.
I win! But what did I win? At what cost?
Collapse of our civilization!
Accidentally stabs the Emperor. It's just a prank, bro. Stand up, bro.
Wouldn't it be funny right, if a Blood Games was the result of the Emperor being killed, which caused his soul to re-enter the warp and make its way back into a living body because he's one of those, what are they called? Perpetuals?
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then that's what made him come back, and then he, got back to full power, and even though Terra gets swarmed by demons, it just went, all good, we'll start a new planet, and then the Emperor's back. Wouldn't that be insane? If it was the fucking... the Custodes that did
this sounds
it
like
with
the
a sharpened
fucking.
stick.
This sounds like the sequel to Warhammer. Warhammer
2.0.
2.0. Electric Boogaloo.
Warhammer 2, Electric Boogaloo. We don't have chaos, we have double chaos. That's bad.
There's quite a lot of cool theories going around, and honestly, I would like one where the Emperor would... If we're actually gonna have him come back, I would like to see him go mad with power, basically, and because he's been on that throne for 10,000 years already, just being a corpse, going mad, so he just destroys the Imperium for what it is and restarts it all again.
See, I think a crucial thing that people don't understand about 40k, a lot of the older school people do, but there's a lot of people getting into it just for the lore, and that's fine. But a lot of them don't understand that the idea of 40k is to create a stalemate, not a resolution.
Yeah.
So with most narratives, like Lord of the Rings, you read it from start to finish because you know there will be either good will win or bad will win, but there will be a winner and the narrative will have a head. The problem is with 40k, because it's a tabletop setting, they don't want that narrative to have a head and an ending, because that means that then, the idea of it is that everything's just in an eternal stalemate. The Imperium, they make these advances, they do well, and then they get pushed back because there's another hive fleet, or chaos, takes the planet, or
it's like an ebb and
push
flow.
And pull.
Yeah.
It's a setting rather than a story. There are stories within there, but you find that the whole universe tends to stay at a stalemate a lot more. And if they don't do that, the alternative is it goes like Warhammer Fantasy, where it comes to the end times, and people don't like that when that ended and got
Yeah.
And they risked it with Fantasy, and some people hate it, some people love it. I don't think it was a complete success, but I think if they risked that with their darling 40k, they just wouldn't do it. They just would not.
It would be an uprising.
I think it'd be the ballsiest move of any company ever if they did that. It would probably bite them in the arse.
I mean, you have the Horus Heresy, so you already have another setting because they're so different to 40k.
Yeah, exactly.
You could instead of progressing after the story, you could just go 10,000 years ahead and start Warhammer 50k, for example, and change the setting completely again. Use somewhat similar models, or I don't know.
Forgive me if I'm wrong. Didn't they have that for a little while?
No idea.
No, I feel like I heard Mark and Eric talk about it on an episode of Warhammer once, that they had done it, or they thought they were going to, or something.
No, I think that was more of a hypothetical, though. So
what I would like to see, obviously in the Horus Heresy, right? It's how do you put it? It's just Space Marines versus Space Marines.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see, maybe we get stuff a bit before the Heresy, where you can play other factions against the Imperial Legions.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. So, say, Eldar, when they were not nearly as depleted as they are.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the Tau, for example, they weren't even there. They weren't even discovered.
But the Tau don't need to be.
Yeah.
The Tau don't need to be.
Necrons
but just have
there.
Eldar. Yeah, you know what I mean? I think that'd be cool. And maybe there's other races that have gone extinct now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we know that during the Great Crusade, many Xenos races were contacted and wiped out as a result. So maybe instead of pushing the story forward, and that's fine, they're going to do that slowly, but maybe for a bit of variety, instead of shoehorning everything into 40k, maybe they do this is pre-Horus Heresy. These are alien factions that you haven't read about. Yeah. These are their tabletop ready. That would be cool. I would dig that. I'm sure we're going to get burned by the fires of our listeners for it, but that's okay.
Oh. Honestly,
But,
let's wrap up Custodes a little bit, and I could talk a little bit about them on the tabletop as well, if that's
oh
something.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
well, I don't play them on the tabletop. So, Obi, what are they like on the tabletop? Do you enjoy them?
I do, but I have this huge problem when playing things that, when you're rolling dice, they hit on twos, they sometimes wound on twos or threes, and they will save on twos. And my biggest issue is when you know something is going to have a 80% success rate, I'm always in that 20% failure rate for some reason. So I lose Custodes so fast, they don't do anything. I don't know what's going on. It must be my way of playing them, I guess. I'm just not protecting them well enough, so...
So just to explain, say if you hit on a 2 up, that means that you roll a 6-sided dice. If you hit 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, you make a hit, right?
Correct.
But if you roll a 1, you get nothing.
Nothing.
And Obi pretty much only rolls under what he needs.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So, and especially this especially happens when I'm rolling for saves as well. Like, even if I get like an AP -1, so that means that you have a 2-up save, and AP -1 means you'll need a 3 and more to make the save successful and not take a wound. I'll roll 1 and 2s every goddamn time, and my guys are just melting away.
Which is insane, because like a 2-up save should be nearly fucking unkillable.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like...
Why don't you take advantage of your 1 rolling skill that you seem to have? Why don't you go like... Yeah, why don't you go see if there's some like... some like Swedish back alley dice game? Roll Snake Eyes, you get $1,000.
Exactly.
You'd be a champ.
But it's only when I'm playing Custodes. I don't get it when I'm playing any other army. It's so weird.
Just take your Custodes to the back alley dice game.
Here's what you do. Go find a Swedish back alley dice game that doesn't involve you sucking dick if you lose.
Or
win lots of
chopping
money
off
with
your
your
fingers.
Yeah. Actually, that might make him a equal level painter as us, Bowen, if they remove some fingers. Anyway, go there, battle it out, win yourself bulk money, and then buy armies that don't fuck you over with dice.
Right. Yeah.
Or, alternatively, before you play a game, sacrifice a goat each time to the dice gods.
That's a great way to do it, dude. Yeah.
It's Sweden. No one will bat an eyelid at it. They'll be like, black metal kids at it again.
No, there's a few different things that I'd like to talk about, and it's the way that they've been hit so hard with the nerf bat. They came out with the Codex. The Codex was a tad little bit overpowered. 2 days later, they released a new data slate to update all the points costs in their favor, which they didn't need at all. They could have stayed exactly at that level. And now they've taken away one of the things that they were really good with, and that's taking objectives and shooting them off. Now you don't have the objectives secured anymore with the bikes and with the Terminators, which is weird, because Death Guard Terminators, they get the objective secured. So what objective secured does is, if you come on a point, and you have more, if you have objective secured keyword, that means that you will own the point. If your opponent comes on with models that has objective secured as well, then you just count how many models you have on the point in range of it, and then you duke it out that way. So
Right.
But they took away the objective secured for pretty much all of the models besides the troops, which troops already had objective secured. So they've just been hit with so many nerf bats recently that it's just so typical of GW to like release a really, really strong codex and just bring it right down 2 months later and make room for the new best codex to come out. And
Thanks, James.
yeah, it's kind of sad because instead you could just make a balanced codex straight away and make the game fun to play for everybody at the same time. instead of having to release an overpowered codex and rein it back down 2 months later just so you will buy new models again. So that's a little bit my rant.
It's odd their system of how they do things these days. Because like when I first got into Warhammer, it was like you buy the rulebook and you buy your army's codex, and that is it. Now it's like you buy a codex and it's like, oh no, it's irrelevant in 2 months when they decide it was overpowered.
Yeah,
like that's very odd. Like if they're gonna do that, what they should be doing is like I know they do offer digital codexes. But, like, you should get free updates and all that sort of shit on top of those.
Right.
Like, say, okay, so what should happen is when you buy a paper codex, you should also get a digital copy to go on your phone, right? And then every time they release a new data slate, that updates the digital copy.
Yeah.
Because, like, people like me and you will still want the codex to look at because it's pretty.
Yeah.
But, like, it's not okay to just release a price and then render it inert a month later because you did a bad job of balancing.
Yeah, basically. And they come with a code already. They come with a code already in the back of the book. The new books do.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Okay,
so you have the digital codex, which is terrible. The app that they have to read your codex in there is really bad. They don't update it as often, and it's kind of sad because this would exactly be, like you said, the perfect medium to update the codex with point costs or take away a keyword here and there. Just simple like that. Just look in your app and have it all there. But no, it's...
Because how hard is it? You just go to your phone and you're like, oh, look, there's an update for the app. Update. Oh, okay, my points have changed.
Yeah.
Oh, whoop-de-doo. Or, my values on the dice roll changed.
Yeah.
It's so easy to cater for when it's right there on your phone. But then going, oh, hold up, there's this update. How do I, with my book, and doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you basically have the book, you have an FAQ, and then you have the updated erratas, and it's just too much to keep track of.
See, and I find that with people getting into Warhammer, the thing they mainly get scared of is the numbers and things like that, like keeping track of all these different statistics, and then you make it harder by changing them regularly. Unofficially outside of the book that people have bought. Like, it's okay to change them, but make it easy for people to understand that you have changed them and have easy access, because that's you can get more people in that way.
Exactly. I mean, ease of access is what people want, and for a game that's already expensive enough as it is, it's just another blowback to get into the game, and it's just it's not good for the game in the long run, I think. So please release better codexes that are balanced, and don't blast us with updates every now and then just to balance it out. Do a good job to release it at the first place.
Don't be shit, James.
Exactly. You have playtesters already, so make use of them.
Just quickly, I know this isn't a music review thing, but have you guys listened to the new Lorna Shore song?
I don't think I have.
Yeah,
I'll send it to you, Obi. You sent it to me, Bowen. But how fucking hard does it slap?
It's Lorna Shore.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I think it's great. Yeah. I think it's great. It's really...
On top of cool things to listen to, I listened to a podcast recently called Batman Unburied. I don't know if you've heard about it.
Yes.
It's so freaking good.
It's so fucking good, eh?
I love it. Stuff? Yeah, it's like telling an alternative story to Batman, basically. It's really good.
I was at work listening to music, and then I went to go open my phone to change to another song on my playlist, and I got a pop-up for it. And then I was like, cool, I'm going to listen to this while I work, because I can just listen to music while I work. They don't care.
The first episode was so graphic as well. Like, Jesus, it almost made me vomit with how good it was. Really. Highly suggested. I've been suggesting it to other people, and it's really good. So give it a listen.
And the other sick one too, right? If you're on Audible, they now have Andy Serkis reading Lord of the Rings. Okay, this is not a drill. It's amazing, and he does the Gollum voice every time Gollum's on, and it's so fucking immersive. I listened to the Fellowship with another guy, and his voice is okay. I think it was Rob Inglis. He did a good job. But it took me ages to get through it because it just felt like a bit of a drag. And then Andy Serkis did. I've listened to, I think it's 12 hours of that novel on Audible in a couple of weeks, which is huge. It's so good. He even nearly nails Gimli's voice and a few others. He's such a good voice actor. So,
and if you have my sax.
No, but seriously, if you want to listen to Lord of the Rings because you have the attention span to read shit like me, then I suggest the Andy Serkis version.
Yeah, very nice.
So yeah,
man.
Cool.
Besides that, guys, our Discord is in the description. Come join us there, talk some shit, play some video games, get beaten by me and Space Marine, and hear me swear at Obi a bunch. And have Bowen pop in once every couple of weeks when he decides to grace us with his presence.
Yep.
We do have an Instagram, also in the link. There's not much on there, but it's there. And yeah, we have an email address too, so mail us questions and anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and if you have questions and you're in the Discord, there is an episode discussion channel. There's even a questions for the podcast channel, so if you have any questions, go ahead there and give us some feedback as well on the episodes we do. So it's always
100% the easiest way to engage with us, and we are happy to hang out with people.
Exactly.
We really do. Me and Obi on the Discord pretty much every.
Yeah, especially now since I changed jobs again.
But yeah, until next time, guys, crank that amp.
You slay that fucking grey.
We are knights of the Hobby Table. Thanks for listening.
See you guys.
Bye.